What is going on, shoe fanatics? I got another review for you today, and this one's kind of interesting in both its reception and its execution. Let's get right into it. As I mentioned a couple of videos back, Jordan Brand has been hitting us with some special boxes all this year. We don't have the standard Air Jordan 5 box here today. What we do have is a box that's covered in cement splatter and has a Flight Club logo on the front of it. If I'm not mistaken, sometime in the mid-2000s or so, Jordan Brand tried to kind of branch off, do some different things, and add a little pop to their, overall mystique. And a lot of different shoes came in that Flight Club box. Taking it a step further, a few shoes in my collection actually have an international Flight Club stamp on it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Size tag reads Air Jordan 5 Retro SE Craft. And for those of you who don't know, SE of course stands for Special Edition. The colors are light Orwood brown and safety orange. As per usual, you have a cement splatter paper on the inside, nothing different about that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present to you the Air Jordan 5 Craft. That is right, another entry in the Craft series from Jordan Brand comes to the channel. So those of you who don't know or who are new here, first we talk about the shoe and then we talk about the shoe. Of course, you have your standard Air Jordan 5 shape. On the bottom, you have a clear translucent outsole. I should say icy blue translucent outsole. I am a fan of this outsole a lot, but here it is nonetheless. You have that herringbone traction on the bottom of it with a probably black or dark blue. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's black. A black Jumpman down here in the forefoot, and on the back, you just have nothing. Of course, you do have that light Orwood colorway with the Jordan stamp on the instep. Flipping up to the midsole, you had that translucent air bubble. Again, this was a shoe designed by Tigger Hatfield, the man behind the Air Max. And of course, the Air Max have that bubble, so you're gonna see the bubble here too. So again, this shoe has these shark's teeth on it. For those of you who don't know, when Tinker Hatfield designed this shoe, he incorporated fighter jets into this kind of shoe. So you see this kind of, P-51 Mustang inspired kind of shoe silhouette. The shape is very bulky and fighter plane-ish, if you kind of get my drift. And of course, that's where the shark's teeth inspiration comes from. Now, the shark's teeth does have a nice gray colorway with white cement splatter on the inside of it. And coming up to the lateral side of the shoe, the part that's going to either make or break the shoe for a lot of you, is going to repulse you or it's going to attract you. One way or the other, you have the hodgepodge, the mismatch, the entire essence of the Craft series right here in this shoe. The Craft series of shoes is kind of designed to be homage to the designers and love letter to the people who really like to create and craft shoes. So here you have a mismatch of materials on the upper. At the toe cap, the heel, and the ankle bolster, you have a rough suede. And I mean rough, this suede is rough. It's almost like someone took sandpaper or some kind of filing system and really kind of roughed the suede up, and it feels very hard to touch. It's one thing for the suede to be nappy, it's an entirely different thing for the suede to be actually rough and coarse, which this one of course is. On both the lateral and medial side of the shoe, in addition to the toe itself, you do have a canvas material. And this canvas is like a quilted canvas. It almost has like a houndstooth kind of pattern. I'm gonna try to zoom in and give you guys some B-roll so you can see what I'm talking about. It's got this patterning of canvas and it feels as such. I've seen differing opinions about how people really felt about this, and some thought that the entire shoe would have been better if it actually had this rough suede all over the shoe itself. But then again, if it did, it wouldn't really be a Craft type shoe. Of course, you have the traditional netting on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe, as well as on the tongue. For the most part, that particular netting is a nice white colorway. Nothing too crazy about that. However, if you look at the eye stays, where the actual lace goes through the holes, that's more of a milky white colorway, which I kind of dig, and I kind of wish that the actual netting on the lateral, medial, and tongue had the same kind of colorway to it. Now, speaking of the tongue, typically on Jordan 5s, you have a reflective 3M tongue here. It's been a staple since, forever. But this particular case, you have that mesh material coming all the way up to the top with an orange, a safety orange embroidered Jumpman on the top. And on the back of the tongue, again, you had the safety orange with the Air Jordan stamp right there on the back of it. As far as the laces go, I actually do appreciate the effort and thought put into making this shoe a little bit different, but I think they could have did a little bit better with these laces. This particular lace is like a nice quality. It does have this gray and white stripe kind of pattern to it, but I just don't think it really gels with the shoe overall. The sock liner is a standard cloth sock liner in a darker gray colorway for contrast. And on the insole of the shoe is a dark gray insole with the white Jumpman. The last but not least, on the back of the shoe, we have a gray Jumpman on the heel. Oh, I would also be remiss if I did not mention that there is a clear Dubray on here with a gray lace lock. A nice little touch, standard again to every Air Jordan 5. There are no spare pair of laces when it comes to these shoes, but trust and believe, we will fix that later on. That's pretty much it when it comes to the design and construction of this shoe. As far as the reception of this shoe is concerned, I'm afraid it's a case of too little too late. I was actually on the fence about purchasing this shoe. And as our friend Talks with TJ says, why would you purchase a shoe that you weren't quite sure you liked? And actually, this is the reason. This is one of those shoes that, cliche as it might sound, is actually better or worse in hand than it is in pictures. And the problem with this particular shoe is, depending on a photographer, this shoe took wildly different looks on images. Now, I'm almost positive that this is not the best light setting to really display the shoe, but the shoe does have more of a grayish look and tone to it than some of the brown or tan images that you may see floating around online. In addition to that, when some folks try to do filters and do a lot of different things to try to post on Instagram, they turn the contrast and all types of little filters up and down. And so for a lot of pictures, this rough suede here ended up looking real dingy and real ashy. And it's not the case. As far as the flow is concerned, the shoe does flow pretty well from front to back in its execution. But I mentioned too little too late because this shoe did come at a price point of $210. Jordan Brand is probably trying to steer us in the direction of paying more and more and more as years go by, but we were kind of putting up with it because we were getting $210 for special editions or some OGs or some retro, some kind of blast from the past. For this particular colorway, although it's a special edition, doesn't really hit folks the same way a collab or an OG colorway does. So for a lot of folks, that $210 price tag could be a little steep, or otherwise a hard pill to swallow if you're not really trying to pay that much money. Now, the reason why this shoe fits me is because I have been in my neutral bag. You guys, if you had a chance to watch my collection video, I've been really heavy into collecting neutral kind of colorways. That's where I'm at in my wardrobes, where I'm at in my life. This shoe kind of fits the bill. One of the things I don't really like about the shoe, however, is this orange, this safety orange. So it's not that safety orange and tan don't quite go together. I actually like the combination a lot, but I feel like this shoe could have done really well with a lighter blue or maybe some kind of blue translucent that kind of matches this sole up on the Jumpman as well as on the back of the tongue. Even a gray here on the tongue or the back would have really set this shoe off, I think, or at least in my personal opinion. Of course, this is not the first time that we've gotten a craft shoe. I also don't believe that this is the first time that we got a craft shoe, but this is the first one I can remember in recent memory. Of course, you have the same kind of deal here. You have a cut and sew kind of motif with really white, vibrant stitching. Kind of shows like a handcrafted really look to the shoe. That's, of course, the name of the shoe is a handcrafted. You also have a different hodgepodge of materials. You have suede, you have leather, you have some canvas up here, and you have some reflective material right here. So again, this lives up to the craft name. In my collection, I also have the very well done Craft 4, which came out, I believe, this year itself. Now again, this is one of those ones that also benefited from a lace swap, but you can see the hodgepodge, the craft materials on this one. Rough suede, leather, some kind of coarse material here, this kind of plastic hard piece for the spoiler or the real Achilles cutter. Just more of the same, the craft feel of the shoe. Not smooth, unfinished materials, you get the deal. There's also a Jordan 2 low and a Jordan 2 high craft. And I believe that craft high was a women's colorway, if I'm not mistaken. And even if it is, I just couldn't justify the price for it right now. But trust and believe, if that shoe goes on sale, I'm definitely gonna try to pick it up in my size. So if you take a look at these shoes side by side, you have the Air Jordan 4 craft, the Air Jordan 5 craft. And hopefully you'll be able to see some of the similarities and how it continues the theme motif overall of the craft series. Now, when I mentioned that safety orange, the reason why I felt like it was kind of a bad move is just because it kind of takes away from the overall earth tone and or neutral colorway of this. This safety orange is really bright. As I mentioned, it's not that I don't like safety orange, because the Jordan 2 shelf life that released, I believe, earlier this year or sometime late last year does have that safety orange on the tongue as well as on the bottom. As you guys can see, I get a lot of wear out of this particular shoe. But that's kind of the thing. I mean, here we are. You have a 2 low and a 5 in basically the same kind of garb. I mean, this thing is wrapped in this same kind of rough suede on the toe, but the 2 also has that kind of snakeskin, which is synonymous with the Jordan 2. Around the toe cap of the shoe, you also have a leather material. So on this shoe alone, you have snakeskin on the lateral and medial side, the rough suede on the toe cap, as well as the leather. And yet and still, this is not a craft shoe, but this particular one is. I mean, they basically took this shoe and regurgitated the idea on this one. And once again, with enough shoes, you run into a redundancy issue. But overall, I do like the shoe. Again, to me, it has its weak points. I'm not really digging the safety orange on the back of the tongue. I do wish it would have been a more neutral or muted colorway, but you know, that's kind of the breaks. The crazy thing is, the last time I checked, this shoe was actually slightly above retail on the aftermarket, which is surprising to me. If you are a fan of this shoe, or if you're on the fence about it and maybe you want to try it out, I can almost recommend that you wait a little while. I do think this shoe will go under retail at some point, and that's for no other reason than to make sure that you save money on a shoe that you may not be so sure about. Now, if you're asking me, which is why I'm sure you're here, I will be keeping this shoe. I will be proudly rocking this shoe. This shoe will get a lace swap, however, to better suit my needs. As far as sizing on this particular shoe, I would recommend you go true to size. I did happen to slip this shoe on, and I can tell you, this shoe is actually pretty comfortable. Again, I'm not the kind of materials or tech spec guy. Man, Nightwing over on Wear Testers knows all about that kind of stuff. But I've noticed that with canvas shoes, in particular this one or the black canvas Jordan 4, those shoes have been incredibly comfortable. I'm not quite sure if the canvas material is a little bit more giving than the leather material that's normally wrapped in this shoe, but this one does feel pretty good on foot. With all that being said, the most recent entry in the Craft series, the Air Jordan 5, is a noteworthy shoe, and I think worthy of the Craft moniker. Again, this is one of those ones that you might be able to sit out, wait it out for a little bit, see if it drops in price. Either way, you're not missing much not picking this shoe up. I do think that both this Air Jordan 1 handcrafted as well as this Air Jordan 4 craft are slightly better than this Air Jordan 5 that I have here. There will be another Air Jordan 1 craft coming in the next 2 weeks or so that had the name Vibrations of Niger, I think it was, but they kind of changed up the name in the last minute and called it the Craft series. Basically, I think it's a cracked leather or some kind of suede embossed shoe with some kind of cork material around it. I don't know. Either way, guys, I'm gonna go outside, give you the on foot with the stock lace and then the on foot with a bunch of different laces. And hopefully you guys will be able to pick one. I kind of know which one I'm gonna go with, but make the call for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop me a comment, and let me know what you think about the Air Jordan 5 craft. Until the next one, I have been Jay Shoe Fanatic, and I'm out of here, y'all. Gotta smell it. Oh, the original cut. There it absolutely is. I might like it better than the 2020 version. So I'm right. And I had to have